What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Chase, and welcome to Fantasy Forge, your one-stop shop for all Pathfinder, D&D, and RPG gaming. Alright, so let's get into this. Today we're going to be talking about languages and how to use them in-game. So, tabletop RPGs tend to be a game where we don't have a lot of visual aspects for RPCs as opposed to video games or movies. So we really need to bring the world to life for them in other ways. And so one of the best ways to do them is languages. And so today I have 3 tips for you on how to use languages in your game. So our first tip today is to use another language entirely. So there's not many GMs out there that can speak High Elven fluently enough to voice a High Elven king for their PCs right off the bat. So what I usually do is I usually use another language that's already been created and take the excerpts from it of what I need. So there's 2 different types of other languages you can use. You can use a real language that's actually spoken by people, or you can use a fake made-up language that's called a conlang. And so conlangs tend to be more harsh and guttural. They tend to have a lot more sounds that humans don't usually speak. So I would usually use conlangs if you're going to go for something like a snake talking or somebody speaking in Draconic, where you can elongate S's and speak with your tongue on the roof of your mouth to make it sound more snake-like, or make sounds that that animal would actually be able to make. But for other humanoid creatures, I would advise using real created languages. And so, the language that I have written here is just Irish Gaelic that I use Google Translate for, and you can see it looks very pretty because I put it in a kind of a cursive font. But reading this can be excellent for bringing your world to life. Our second tip today is called the written word. And so even though the pen may not have the same damage dice as the sword, it's still your best tool for bringing your games to life. So especially including things like letters and documents and wanted posters in different languages can truly give your PCs pieces of the world that they're in, and the world that you're trying to emulate for them. So this is a letter that I created using Google Translate, and so I took this letter that I wanted the evil queen to send to the PCs and everything in it, and then I just dropped the thing into Google Translate and translated it into Irish Gaelic, which I found works very well for Elvish and Elvish derivatives because it has elements from that same region of the world that Tolkien took his Elvish language from. So, and plus it looks really cool on paper, which can give your PCs something like to hold and look at and translate. And so when my PC made the correct check to translate the letter, I simply gave him the translated letter, giving him the illusion, that he can translate and see through all of these weird and mystical ruins. Our third and final tip is to improvise. If the PCs want to try and have a conversation with someone who doesn't speak the same language as them, don't be afraid to make up vowel sounds and consonant sounds and try to continue the conversation, because maybe they can eventually get enough information out of the NPC through hand motions or your voice inflection that they could tell that there's a dragon in the nearby town that they need to go and slay or something like that. But one tip that I would use for improvising is to keep a list of phrases that you know how to pronounce that are in different languages, and you can have some that sound like guttural languages like orcs or goblins, or you can have some that sound like very more like English languages like Elven or Dwarvish, and just keep those in hand, and then when you use a phrase, cross one of them off. And so these can be really useful for getting an instant Elvish battle cry, or having a goblin curse out the PCs where you don't have to go back and try to make something up that doesn't really sound like what you're trying to make it sound like. So that is all of the tips I have for you guys today. Please remember to hit that like button and subscribe. I am Chase, and this has been Fantasy Forge.